You're sure to love these tiny little almond tea cakes. These are made with egg whites and melted butter, and they're really easy to put together. You could top them with seasonal fresh fruit like cherries or berries to make them look stunning as well. These French tea cakes were baked in rectangular molds which kind of resembled bars of gold, hence the name Financiers. Since I do not have those special molds, I'm going to be baking them in this mini muffin tray here. And I wanted to bake them with some fresh cherries, but the cherries disappeared too soon this season. So I'm going to be making them with some orange zest and some poppy seeds. These tea cakes are also made with ground pistachios or hazelnuts. I'm sure that would be really delicious too. A lot of recipes use browned butter, but this recipe from David Lebowitz simply uses melted butter, making it all the more easier and simpler. The best thing about this recipe is you could make this really easy batter and keep it in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 days and make the cakes as and when you want them. That's really good because these cakes taste the best when they are eaten warm. These are actually baked at 190 degrees centigrade, but since I'm using a dark colored pan, I'm going to be baking this at 180 degrees centigrade. So here are the few ingredients we'll need to make these Financiers. We need some finely ground almonds or almond meal, or you could simply take whole almonds and grind them in your processor to make a fine powder. Since I do not have almond meal, I have taken some whole almonds and I have processed them with some sugar and flour in the recipe, and it looks like this now. I have processed the almonds, the powdered sugar and the flour in the recipe in my mixie jar, in the smallest jar of my mixie, to make this fine powder kind of thing. And I've sifted together the ground almonds, the sugar and the flour mixture with a pinch of salt and some baking powder here in this bowl here. And we have some black poppy seeds here. There's some vanilla extract, some unsalted butter which has been melted and cooled slightly, and there are egg whites. And we are going to be using the zest of one really fresh orange. I'm going to be stirring these black poppy seeds into this almond and flour mixture here. This is optional. And in this small bowl here, we'll just whisk together the egg whites, the orange zest, the melted butter and the vanilla. We are whisking these ingredients just to incorporate all of them together. And in this recipe, since we are not going to be whipping the egg whites to a volume, you don't need to lose sleep over separating them perfectly. And now we'll add this egg mixture to this almond and flour sugar mixture here. Whisk this gently in 2 to 3 additions. David Lebowitz actually makes this recipe in a food processor, and I can imagine it would be a real breeze to make it. Not even this much of effort to make them. Mix this gently but be thorough with the mixing. Now at this point, if you do not want to bake the Financiers right away, you could keep them in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 days. So now the batter goes into this muffin tin now. We'll fill them about 3/4 full. The batter is quite thin. And we will wrap this against the counter, and we'll bake these at 180 degrees centigrade for about 10 to 12 minutes till a toothpick inserted in the center of the cakes comes out clean. This time may vary in your oven. Please do not overbake. Keep an eye on the cakes. And once the cakes are baked, we'll take them out from the oven and let them cool in the tin completely, and then remove them from the tin. And here are some I have made earlier. Please do eat some as soon as they cool, because that's when they taste the best. When these cakes are really fresh, the crust will be crisp and the interior will be soft and moist. You could also dress these Financiers with a sugar glaze. These can be stored airtight for a couple of days, but the crusts will soften. Given that these are so easy, simple and tasty to make, I'm sure you'll try these again and again and try more variations. Please do leave your comments for me. Let me know what you'd like to watch on Cakes and More. Please subscribe. Please stay tuned.